it's like actually kind of chilly. Every year, wow, it's nice. It's nice. Ooh, da, 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 da. What is that? That's Mulan. That's Mulan. I was singing Mulan. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to morning medley number 277. I hope everybody's well. I hope everybody's happy. I hope everybody's healthy. Every morning now, I'm like so active in the Discord that I almost forget I have to stream. I almost forget that it's not just a morning Discord. Okay, for some reason my smoothie's really pale today. Not exactly sure why. This is actually closer to the color that it is when you get it at Jamba Juice. This is what they're like, strawberry banana smoothie. Oh, because I didn't put any blueberries. Oh, I forgot to put in blueberries. That would have gave it some more color. All right, well, I guess no antioxidants for me today. Good morning, Dar. Good morning, Audrey. Good morning, Cyber. I'm missing them. It tastes different too. Okay. Hey, it tastes kind of good actually. I mean, am I still feeling good, Star? I'd say I'm okay. I'd say no, I'm good. I'm good. Okay, trending positive. You know that feeling when you wake up in a clean room, like you cleaned your room before you went to bed, and then you wake up and everything looks sleek. That makes a big difference on my mood, and I'm there right now. Another thing that I like doing, specifically talking about clean rooms, is I really like when I like it when you leave town for a particularly long, extended period of time, and then when you come back, like you clean right before you leave, right? You clean right before you leave, and then you spend all this time like going through hotels, Airbnbs, airports, subway stations, wherever you're going, right? You see your friends, you come home, you're exhausted. What a great time! And then you open your bedroom door, and your room's clean like a hotel. I love that feeling. I've made the mistake of leaving for a tour in a rush. Like, I'll never do this again, by the way. I'll never ever do this again. I've done it once in my entire life, and it was just because I had a lot of house guests right before I was supposed to leave on a pretty long tour. So I didn't really get to like do a lot of mental and physical preparation for that tour like I would have, and I left in kind of a hurry. And I got home from a very long, very exhausting, somewhat upsetting at sometimes tour, and I was just like, I just want to be home. I want to get in my own bed and go to sleep. And I opened my room, and it was a mess in here because I had to catch a plane, and I was running late, so I was just like throwing things around, like throwing clothes, throwing like instruments. I'll never do that again, ever. That was horrible coming home to that. But now whenever I have a tour, usually like the entire the entire day before the tour, I schedule nothing. I'm not hanging out with friends. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just in my home. And then usually, depending on how far away the first date of the tour is, I'll just kind of stay up pretty late, and then I'll go to the airport and I'll not necessarily plan to sleep at the airport, but I will like just chill. I'll get there like 4 hours before my flight, 4 hours. Well, says I've always wanted music that plays when you enter your house. Whoa. Hmm. that's actually a really fun point. I don't know. I know Cyber has, and I know Lindsay has question mark. I don't know actually. Maybe I'm getting confused, but there are several people on the stream who have been to Japan. Maybe Ava was the other person. I know Isidora has, but anyhow, Umbe in Japan, a lot of the. Ooh. What the heck is that? Very, 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 very weird. Mystery, maybe? Tense? Anyways, Umbe in Japan, if you have been, or even if you haven't been, the subways there have like a little jingle that they play depending on what stop you're at. And so each line doesn't necessarily have jingles for that line, but they have jingles for stops. So if you get off on one stop on, like, so let's say that stop is Tokyo Dome City on one subway, it'll play that stop's jingle. But even if you're on another line, like a subway line, and you get off on Tokyo Dome City, it'll play that jingle. If you're on a different line, that's not Tokyo Dome City. So it's like every region has their own like subway station stop jingle. And that maybe is the closest thing I felt to the thing you're describing, because when I was there for an extended period of time, I was getting off at like the same stops because my hostel was off of a certain stop, and like this area was off a certain stop, so I was getting off on the same stops pretty regularly. And the like sonic repetition, the musical training of kind of like hearing that thing every day when you get off, it does something to you at a certain point. It just becomes like, it becomes embedded in your route and your travels in a way that music, I would say, isn't always as prominent here. I mean, they're jingles, but jingles are music. I would like that though, or at least in theory, right? I would like to be able to walk into a Walmart and it plays the Walmart jingle or something, or I would like to be able to walk into my home at the end of the day and I have like a custom home jingle that plays when I come in through the door. Maybe I get in my car and my car has a certain thing, a certain sound it makes that's very like unique to me and my car. This could be good. I've been in Japan. It's technically right. Oh, but it was just a layover on the way to Taiwan. We're up. Mayor of New York. What a cool job. I'm trying to remember what that song was. Don't do it on me. Was it even there? It's in my head now. I don't know if I'm gonna forget it. Booba goes to work. Oh, is that just officially Boba's theme now? I'll remember it in that case. I like that in some streams because I don't. The camera's on my bed, so there isn't like I don't have like an X marks the spot. I don't have like markers for cameras because it's not a proper filming set, and so the framing is always a little bit different from stream to stream. And I do like that Booba's not always in it. Sometimes Booba's just completely out of frame. Hi Taylor Nicole, by the way. Good morning, everyone. Guys, I have recently recently started compiling all the songs, right? So if you've come into the Friday streams, there are a lot of songs. Depending on what your definition of a lot is, there are quite a few songs. I think I'm starting to compile them or organize them better because right now there is a folder. There is a folder called In the Studio, which is where I put all of the stuff that we make in the studio. In the studio streams, I should say. I like that my hair is doing this like weird asymmetrical thing right now. But that's where I put all the stuff. Now, all of that stuff is not the same type of music. It's not the same style of music. It doesn't sound similar. It doesn't feel similar. They're not all the same length. And so, what I was thinking about doing is splitting those things up and making separate folders. If that makes sense to anybody. I want to maybe put things like Just Believing and picture this like in the same folder with dudes perhaps, and then move some of that like ambient drum and bass stuff like that, maybe move it into a subfolder. I think In the Studio basically needs subfolders now at this point. That's probably a better a better way to look at it. I'm just gonna make subfolders instead of actually moving them into other folders. I'll just make folders within the in the studio folder. If that makes sense. I would say I don't have a song count, Cyber, who asks how many songs I have that I'm like sitting on right now. I don't necessarily have a song count. And my brain does this thing, which I think all art brains do, where you don't really consider something real until it's hit a certain point of progress, right? Because I can sit around, I mean, even the booba theme is, it's only got like those two parts, and the fact that Liana refers to it as a booba theme, I guess it's going to stay. But it really was just like a rough idea improv that I did over Sound of 276 from yesterday's stream. So I think I've been working on a lot of stuff. Like we have that weird chicken jazz song, and there's like the drum and bass song, and then there's the other drum and bass song, and then there's the song that's made from Lindsay's ambient stuff, and then there's this like there's like a lot of song ideas, I should say. But as far as songs that I feel very strongly about, because now they're at like 70%, they're either at 70, 80, 90% complete, or they're about 40% complete, but my brain already sees the trajectory. An example of both of these would be like Dropout is a song that's at like 90%. Just Believing is a song that's like at 70, 80%, but I can like see what the rest of it looks like. And then a song like, what's a song that's barely? That song, Into the Small, where the lyrics are just into the sky, that one. That song? That song has nothing done, right? All the lyrics of that song are Into the Sky, I Wanna Fly. And it has a sampled chord progression from an earlier song. Um, but my brain can see the entire rest of that song. I can see the verses, I can see the bridge, I can see the outro, I can see what that song blends into towards the end, I can see the B section of that song. And so I am counting that Cyber in the overall collective of songs that I feel strongly about as far as completion. Like I feel like they're pretty close, and if not, will be very soon. So I would say if I'm just going like dudes, Scrumpty, and I'm only naming like the disco-y, dancey, vibey, housey ones. Scrumpty, sorry, Spronk, um, Into the Small, Just Believing, Picture This, Dudes, um, Dropout. That's 6 so far, and then that's not counting like bossa, that bossa jazz one, or Talkbox. I would say that, and that puts us at about 8. Let's say 10, 12. Let's say 10, 12 songs right now that I'm sitting on that feel promising, and then tons of like little tiny ideas here and there. But as far as songs that like, if I had to play a show tomorrow, cyber songs that I feel like I could like make a quick like live version of to play live, I feel like 10 to 12, 10 to 12. A lot of these songs are sitting on rough ideas that don't have lyrics yet. Now, I want to pull the audience. I want to pull the stream really quickly on something that I feel strongly about. How do you guys feel about instrumental music? Now, be honest. I know we're in a stream where instrumental music happens, so I feel like to a certain extent, most of you guys will be like, I like instrumental music. Here's an artist that I like that doesn't ever have vocals on their stuff. But when you're listening to music, how important are lyrics and vocals to you? Don't worry, up, baby. Sounds like you're heading to a quarantine. It's 2021. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do about quarantines. I might start like turning the songs that I've made in the stream into quarantines, like doing like little like small recreations of them live, and making videos of it. Oh yeah, but anyways, back to the question. So how important are lyrics, vocals in the music for you? Umbe says, I feel like the fact instrumental music is easier to make than tracks with lyrics has made me more biased. I respect the instrumentals so much more now. Whoa, hold on. Instrumental music is easier to make than tracks with lyrics. Has made you respect instrumentals more. Really? I follow you until the end. I feel like if anything, like somebody could say like that's why I made them respect instrumental music less because it's not as hard to make or it's easier to make. I think most music I listen to is either instrumental or has minimal vocals. The importance is maybe 40% of present. Wow, okay. I'm an instrumentalist, says Cyber. The mind can do more than the fifth. Alright. I think, here's the reason I asked this. Part of this is me being inside my head a little bit, but that is where I live, so it's nothing to be ashamed of. But let's say I'm going to listen to a Dorian Concept album. You guys know who Dorian Concept is, of course you do. I'm gonna listen to a Dorian Concept album. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be good, but there's not really gonna be lyrics or vocals, and I'm prepared for that. You know, I'm there for the jam, I'm there for the groove. If I listen to an Igloo Ghost record, I know there probably will be some vocals somewhere, but I won't be able to understand them, and they'll be like heavily processed, so I'm just gonna go ahead and count it as instrumental music. Or I listen to like a Maxo track, instrumental, or I'm listening to some of like Anna Managuchi's music and it's very instrumental. Like I'm listening to a lot of instrumental music and it's fine because I know that's what these artists make. And then I put on like Drake or something. And Drake is a rapper. And an instrumental song comes on. Does that mean I'm disappointed because I'm not like getting what I came there for? You know, I came here for bars, and these are. Hold on, Trash Man is here. I should add, it has more soothing benefit for me now, listening to instrumental music. I don't have to struggle and suffer in the production process with an instrumental as much. Oh. Well, sure. Hello, Diz, and good morning to you. So, Diz, if you missed it, I was asking the people on the stream how important music with vocals, like vocals and lyrics, how important is vocal presence in music? ago, I'd have an answer, but I have no idea how I feel about instrumentals now, says Umbe. That's fair, that's fair. Um, so it's not a necessity, but it can add to it, says it is talking about vocals and lyricism and music. If otherwise, the track would feel empty, I guess. When vocals hit right, they tend to get stuck in my head more. So, says Leanna. I like instrumentals because I play a lot of video games. I believe this. Same. So, come on, guys. Come on, guys. Someone was trying to run a stream here. Thank you. So, I feel like, as far as my consumption, right? I have a Spotify release radar or month or weekly Omni listen to this. You know, I have algorithmically generated playlists. I go listen to them, and then like one track is some super jazzy instrumental song, and then the very next song will be a hip hop song, and then the very next song will be like a J pop song. And so it's going back and forth a lot between like song with lyrics, song without lyrics, song that's instrumental, song with spoken word. It's doing that a lot, and it's not jarring to me, and I enjoy it. However, if I'm sitting down listening to a body of work by a specific artist, and this happens, like if um uh-oh. If 21 Pilots, I don't listen to 21 Pilots, guys. For some reason, I couldn't think of a band that's like releasing now. That's sad. Anyways, if 21 Pilots puts out a new album, and some tracks are instrumental and some tracks have vocals in it, I still, as a hypothetical 21 Pilots fan, which I'm not, but as a hypothetical 21 Pilots fan, I wouldn't mind. I would be fine. I'd be like, this is part of it. I just love all music, baby. But I know that for some other people, that could be jarring. And so if I was putting together an EP of work, or an album of work, or a mixtape of work, and then there were songs that were very vocally driven, followed immediately by songs that were just completely instrumental, not even a hint of vocals, is that jarring for the listener? Because this is a thing that I've done before, right? There are instrumental songs in Quick Breath, there are instrumental songs in Daydream, and there are also very vocally driven songs on both of these EPs. And I want to know how that was/is received as the listener. The listener being you guys, I guess, in this thought experiment. I will say that I thought a lot of rap songs would be just as good in instrumental form, only to download it and it hits 4 times less hard. Oh. That's actually really interesting. Have I listened to an instrumental of a rap song? On purpose? Wait. there's plenty of dance music that has limited to no lyrics that are certified bangers, says Diz. Of course, of course. I brought it up before, but T-Pain is a great producer and did Buy You a Drink, and the instrumental is ridiculous. You know what's funny, Cyber? I don't consider Buy You a Drink a rap song. Maybe that's not funny. Maybe that's just actually fair. I don't know. Buy You a Drink, to, in my brain, goes under R&B, which I think R&B instrumentals always, well, always is a strong word, but for me anyways, they go off pretty hard. Rap instrumentals can also sometimes, I mean, All Right by Kendrick is sick as heck, the instrumental for that. He also has I don't know how many of you guys listen to Kendrick Lamar, but one of his interludes called For Free is so good. Even as an instrumental, it would be so good, but it's not an instrumental, and he kills it. That was like I don't want to turn this into like a Kendrick fan stream, so I'll move on now. T-Pain's not a rapper in my book, says Umbe. He's about as much a rapper as I. Sorry. Threads because Pharrell made that beat. Oh, crap. I mean, when Pharrell makes a beat I don't like, I'm thoroughly confused. When there's like a Neptune's beat and I listen to it and I'm like, I don't like this. I'm actually confused because they make so many good things that sometimes I forget, you know. It's just like the thing when you have too much faith in an artist. Like, they never let you down, so you just kind of assume that their name is for sure going to make something you like. I don't know. There have been a couple Pharrell beats that I wasn't the biggest fan of. T-Pain is amazing, though. T-Pain's great. I do like where that was going a bit weird. I do like those two opening chords just because I would never start a song on a chord like that. This one? How did a fly get in here? My window's closed. Come on, buddy. That's weird. How did he get in here? Yesterday's topic of lyrical content. Did we have... We talked about this yesterday, too? Yikes. Is one of those puzzle albums where some tracks explain the headspace of the rest. You're absolutely right, Liana. I actually feel that way about his, what was the other album? Good Kid, Mad City is like a storybook. He's a storyteller, right? Kendrick's a storyteller. This isn't a Kendrick fan stream. I mean, as a storyteller, though. Well, that's too close to my Easy Dora. I thought about you earlier. I was talking about Japan. I would like to learn. Oh, thank you. I haven't bought any clothes this year, Easy Dora. So I bought a couple of shirts and a sweater. That was like the first. I mean, I have nowhere to go. So there's whole shirts in my closet, guys. I haven't worn this year. Like just button ups that I'm not buttoning it up anymore. It's sad. But thank you, Easy Dora. Also, I really like that lamp. When I bought it, when I was like going through the website to buy that lamp, I did think to myself like, now when am I ever gonna use this lamp? I have a light, I have central lighting in my room, and also I'm usually on the computer, which is basically a giant rectangle that's a light. Like, when am I ever gonna use this? But then I was using it last night, just when I was working on music and like watching stuff. It is nicer just having like mood lighting around the monitor and around your instruments that isn't, this harsh, bright room light. Sometimes it's nice to have that. It was actually very nice. I don't know. Maybe nobody cares about this, but the lamps, like desk lamps, I've never owned a desk lamp. Just because like they're in my experience, there's just kind of never been a reason for me to use one. Because maybe if I was a writer or if I was somebody that did like drawing, like I was a visual artist, but not digitally. I was just like a visual artist and I drew on paper and stuff like that. Maybe a mood light or a desk lamp would be really useful. Maybe if I did a lot of reading. But when I'm reading, I prefer I prefer not to read at night. I like to read by the sunlight. And two, I hate reading in my room. It's like the least good place for me to read a book. I much prefer to read books outside of my home. Even if I'm just sitting on the steps outside. I don't like reading books in the house. It like bugs me for some reason. Feels wrong. And so, yeah, never necessarily need to buy a desk lamp as somebody that plays piano. And yeah, I finally got one and I like it. I can see its benefits for sure. I remember a couple of days ago because Uniqlo made a super sale and they had Line t-shirts. And that reminded you of me. Yeah, I don't... Because Line is such a successful company, it's slowly eclipsing... Sorry. It has long since eclipsed everything else in my room except for Oswald. I have way more Oswald things than Line things. But it's very slowly, like, there are more and more Line things in my room. And it's weird because it is a messaging app that I think... Oh, crap. Are you not plugged in? It is a messaging app that I think nobody, like, very few people I know actually use. There we go. I think, I know I'm on it. I know Liana uses it, I think. And no, I know Liana uses it. I know Cyber uses it on occasion. Ooh, Cyber's got a big question coming up. Or at least there's a lot of preamble. I hope it's a big question. I want to go to the Line store in Korea. Me too, again. Me too, again. It's dope. It has food. I miss... Oh, are you gonna save it? Oh. We finally got to double digits in the stream. I was gonna celebrate with a big Cyber question. Uh-oh. Hmm. It might be too personal. Does it have anything to do with line? Does it have anything to do with line cipher? Part of the horror movie where I'm running from. Wait, hold on, MB. Oh, I like that joke. Never mind. Oh no. My hands, they're failing me. Is that the chord? Yeah. Nothing to do with the line, everything to do with friends. Hmm. My friends or your friends? There is a there is a see how easy the word was now. There's a song. There's a second half of Liminality. The song. That song. The second half of that song goes like this. And I used it. I used it in another part. In another part of a completely separate song, just a piece of it, which is kind of like when you don't know a lot and you stumble upon a good thing. It's almost like when you discover a new spice. Like you just discovered, I don't know, what's that orange stuff I be putting on my chicken? You don't even know the names of the spices you use on me. Turmeric. So like, let's say you discover a new spice and you're like, hey, this spice is all right. You kind of just like put it in everything for a second, and sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does work, sometimes you need a little bit more, sometimes you need a little bit less, but it's like the new spice fun when you finally get a new thing. When I made that, I was very, very happy because it was just something that I had to kind of stumble into. And so when making the new bridge, for Into the Sky, baby, that one, Into the Sky, baby, I wanna fly. Wait, that's wrong. There's right. Into the sky, I wanna fly. Into the sky, I wanna fly. That song, I made a different. I made a different outro for it over, like, I was playing, like, kind of improvising over those same vocals, but when I was improvising over the vocals, I threw in the part of that, so it's like so like using that to climb down, because here in Liminality I use it to move to the second chord, so second chord, but in Into the Small I use it to climb down, so those. See the difference? Very, very same, like very same. It's a very similar transition. It just gets to a different arrival point. It has a different result, I suppose. And one thing that I hope, that I know some part of me is hoping against hope on this, there is an artist that I've talked about in the stream quite a few times. His name is Maxo. And he has a song called Crush, I believe it's called. And then he has another song called Nah, nah, baby. I ain't really gonna drive me crazy. Sunset, baby. Is it Sunset, baby? I think it's Sunset, baby. You'll get to me in the sunset, baby. Alright, so Sunset, baby and Crush are two different songs of his. And he does the exact same chord, melody combination And one, it's the chorus, and in the other one, it's just a quick, brief, like, glimpse of it in the bridge. And when you hear it, or at least when I hear it, I'm like, oh crap, wait, I think he's done that before. That's in another song. And then when I listen to the other song, I'm like, that is so cool to me. To be able to take one piece from a song and just, like, shoehorn it. I mean, shoehorn it sounds like you're forcing it, but, like, glide it into a completely different song, and it works. And somebody can look at this and go like, oh, well, this person isn't creative, they're just using the same things over and over. But I think it's a little bit more complicated than that, because I think that if you're taking things and you're putting them into other songs, it actually, especially if the songs are pretty different in their construction and their purposes and their tempo and even their key, I think that it's a cool sign of like prowess actually. Like if you can take a piece of one song and put it into another. Have you guys ever seen those things where somebody will take uh, like an acapella from like an Ariana Grande song or a Lady Gaga song, and they'll put it over the instrumental of like a Weezer song or a Blink 182 song, and it just fits? I mean, that's not really a lot of like magic. That's just keys, right? Like if two songs are in the same key and you make them the same BPM, you can kind of just swap harmonies and melodies all day. But I think that it's really cool when an artist does it to their own music, when they take a piece of their old song, whether it's an acapella or um, there's rappers do this a lot with bars specifically, where like a rapper will have like a really cool line that they say, but it'll crop up in like two songs, two completely separate songs that might even be separated by a whole album from each other. And then you hear the bar and you're like, wait, they've done that before. And it's kind of cool, and it's kind of, in my opinion, in Ami's opinion, clever. Anywho, but I'm doing that in this song. Anyways, have we discovered all the spices there are? I want to say no, Diz. I want to say no. I feel like no. I feel like no, we have not. I don't think we've discovered all the anything there is. Can you play the piano part of Quick Breath? Whenever you want. The piano part of Quick Breath. I can't, actually. Because I've never played the piano part of Quick Breath after I recorded that song. I assume you're talking about the bridge, right? And not the verses, which is like more sampled. But in the bridge... Now that's cold. I can't even like conjure the piano part Quick Breath in my head, Rem, for some reason. Are you talking about that part? Because I didn't really play that. If that's the part you're talking about, I didn't play that for Quick Breath. That was more so a thing that I sampled and chopped from an older piece of music that I have. This says you can click a note and artificially raise it to a different octave, right? So in theory, you could make a song somehow sound however you wanted. Sure. This is true. I have played the piano part before. Did I? Are you sure? Are you sure, Umbe? I'm trusting you on this one. If you're joking or if you're pranking me, it's working. Because I honestly don't remember doing it. No chocolate breakdown yet. I'm saving it. I'm doing it. I'm gonna do it on Friday, and the reason that I'm gonna do it on Friday, Cyber, is because I'll be able to have it right in front of me, and I'll have the keyboard. Oh, I'm actually kind of excited to do the remix breakdown this Friday as well. That should be fun. It's after that, but thank you for trying. You're welcome, Ram. I'll get it. I'll get it eventually. Referring to how you could make the lyrics fit to any different song. Oh, you're talking about putting like vocals on a track. I mean, yeah, you can like pitch stuff technically, but that wouldn't be necessarily impressive to me anyway. I mean, because I think that for a lot of people listening to it, the big like glamour of taking an acapella from one track and putting it on an instrumental from another track is that the public recognizes both in that tone, right? People will recognize the Katy Perry song and be able to sing along to it. It won't be like warped all out of whack. because I would do that. What I would usually do is if there was a song with vocals that I couldn't make really, I was struggling to make music for, I would vocode the lyrics to make them match the chords I was hitting, which was a lot of fun, but yeah, it wasn't necessarily the same. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, where'd that phone be? Wasn't there a Chocolat breakdown in the first production stream? Yes, Jesse, but what Cyber's talking about is there's a very specific part of Chocolat. There's like a piano part that Cyber would like me to play. I just don't know it. I don't know it. What the heck is this? Oh. Sorry, Cyber. It's called Techno Synth Bass. Sound number 277. I think that fly's been in here all night. He's like drunk. Get out of here. Go on. There you go. Be free. But yeah, the techno synth bass. I gotta be honest, I don't hear it. Sounds like a banjo. Oh, it sounds like Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Oh wait, never mind. I hear it. It's velocity bass. I do hear this weird metallic like banjo sound in it though still. I don't know why that is. Oh, can't do it down there. I hate this sound. I do not like this sound. Because you have to hit it so hard to get like the sound to express itself, but then by that point, the sound of just me hitting the keys is louder than the sound itself. Why do your flies just leave on their own? Says Umbe. Oh, like why do they just like if I like open the window and talk to them, they leave? I don't know. Maybe I'm annoying. I think that the flies want the trash. Flies love trash. And on trash day, if you've noticed, on trash day on Tuesdays, those are the only days that flies actually come into the room, and it's because I live in the cul-de-sac, so it's like lined with garbage cans. And so I think that the flies that end up in my room are honestly just runoff. I think that they're confused. And so usually if I open the window, they'll be able to find their way back to the trash. I think that's what they want. I think they want the trash. I feel like there was something I wanted to address. Hello, Don Hardy. That's where you go. I do like that. It needs more time. It's almost done cooking. This idea. Wrong, wrong, wrong. It's somewhere in there. a sweet thing to say. It is. Whatever I was doing might have been trash just now. Do you have any photosensitivities? I actually don't know what that means, Cyber. I'm sorry. Photosensitive. Photosensitivities. I don't know what that is. What is that? Can I get some Midnight Drift 2 and 3-4 after this, though? Subsequently? If I can remember how to do it. you have a history of seizures from blinking lights? No, I don't. But um, I saw somebody post something that like in Cyberpunk there was like flashing lights that induce seizures, and it didn't particularly make me nervous because I don't have epilepsy or anything like that. I'm not prone to seizures, but that is something that it's almost like when like when you go into a store and uh, if you're not wheelchair bound, sometimes you don't really think about if the buildings that you go into are wheelchair accessible. And when I was working for DMTS in Arizona, or working with DMTS in Arizona, I should say, there was like I had that vision all of a sudden. I was like, I would notice when things weren't wheelchair accessible. It was like, dang, how's somebody supposed to get in here? How's somebody supposed to be able to access this? I would think about that a lot. And I feel like epilepsy warnings are another thing. Like it's just something that I just don't think about. Like flashing lights in video games. Like sometimes people that are photosensitive have talked to me cyber and just been like, we'll be talking about a specific game and they're like, I can't play that because of this thing in the game or because of this thing. Or they'll say, when I play that, I usually turn off the visualizer in the background, talking about like DDR and stuff like that. Because they're like, this specific song, it's like, its visualizer is like nuts for me. Like I can't do it. And I'm just like, dang, like that's something I don't really think about. I don't enjoy looking at flashing lights, says Diz. Well, I don't enjoy looking at them either. I should go on I should go on the record saying I don't like them, but I'm also not at, it's not like a health risk for me to look at, well, not a serious one, for me to look at flashing lights. The worst thing it's gonna do to me is like ruin my eyesight, but I'm not going to like have a seizure or anything, or at least that hasn't been in my past anywhere. Pretty low effort, gimmicky way of being an attention grabber, says Diz, talking about lights that flash. Don Hardy says, have you recently watched any movies or played any games where you went, oh, this has a pretty nice soundtrack? Don, you're not gonna like this. Nobody's gonna like this. But Genshin Impact actually has a like shockingly good soundtrack. It's like actually upsetting. Upsetting. Hold on, let me give myself a little bit of bell. Upsetting for me because usually when I play a game that's free internet game, I'm not saying that I expect the music to be bad because that's wild. What I'm saying is I don't expect the music to be very high effort, and I feel like the Genshin Impact soundtrack is really high effort, and I don't understand why that is. Like there are sections of the map, specific areas of the map that just have like really wildly done score that only exists in that part of the map. It's weird. Anywho, yeah, Don Hardy. I would say Genshin Impact. If I go back further than that, Ghost of Tsushima had some really really cool score moments. There was some really like dope music moments in Ghost of Tsushima, but overall, a very very high quality, beautiful but forgettable soundtrack. Horizon Zero Dawn, I mean, I know you weren't in the Discord, we were talking about it in the Discord earlier. Horizon Zero Dawn has one of like, not only do I love that soundtrack, Dawn, but I love the sound design in that game. The sound design is what really like pushed that game onto another level for me. The wild things they do with the sound design in that game are like subtle things that I think an average gamer probably isn't going to notice, but for me as somebody that works with sound all the time, there are certain things that they did in that game with sound design, the way it intertwines with the score and with just the sound effects when you're like in the middle of a fight, like ridiculous. Hello Mary Winters, welcome. Since that's two, I'll give you three. I'll give you one more. What's another soundtrack that recently struck me in gaming? I love that. Soundtrack gaming, video game, soundtrack, video game, music. Crap, this is hard. I feel like I haven't really played that many games this year, actually. This year's been kind of like, wait. I feel like I did play something. I think it was Control. That sucks. Was Control the last game I like bought? Physical game? I think it. Wait, did I even buy Control? Did I download that game? There is another game somewhere in there. Sekiro I actually didn't like the soundtrack for. I don't know if that's divisive or not, but I really liked that game. But the soundtrack, I didn't really love the soundtrack to that game. Kind of a bummer, honestly. That game was very forgettable for me. Anywho, this is not a recent game, but I've talked about before. But Rush 2049 has a great soundtrack. If you've never heard it, Rush. All of the Rush games. There's a game just called Rush San Francisco. Also an amazing soundtrack. But I'm trying to think of stuff recent. Thank you, Don, for asking. I think a good soundtrack for a game says Mary is Minecraft. C418 really struck it out of the park on that one. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good soundtrack. They put $100 million of government-funded money into that game, Omni says Umbe. That doesn't mean anything to me. Umbe. That honestly doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not saying that to be dismissive. The reason I'm saying that doesn't mean anything to me is because, I mean, I've talked about it. I've talked about with Cyber too, in a stream actually. No, we all talked about this, where we were talking about like games and media coming out of China and how like, unfortunately, when it's like tech stuff, I am not gonna project on anybody. When it's like tech stuff, like games or even like CG and movies, stuff like that, like usually media, tech fused with media, I don't really expect a lot of great things. Like when I listen to a lot of pop music from China, it doesn't, there's no way for me to have this this very nuanced conversation without it coming off somewhat insulting. So I'll just say I don't really expect. I have a different bar of expectations when it comes from like China with video games or China with TV shows, China with movies, China with And so the fact that Genshin Impact has like a really, really good soundtrack is, I won't say weird, it makes sense. It's just I wasn't expecting it, Umbe. But yeah, you're right. Bunch of money went into this game. It should have a good soundtrack. And it does have a very good soundtrack. Also, though, like, whatever. I don't want to talk about Genshin Impact anymore. I understand that Genshin Impact is very divisive because I like it and it's a fun game, but it has gacha elements in it, which is very, can be your make or break for somebody. I like ignore the gacha elements of it, so the game doesn't function like a gacha game to me, but I understand that at its core, that, most people aren't going to do that. Most people aren't going to ignore that. So I don't really like talking about it that much in the stream because it can cause chaos. Based on I'm normally in the same mind, but 100 million is just so much money. It better be good. Oh, Umbe, kind of moving. So what is gacha? Oh, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, Diz. I don't want to do it. Diz, we can talk about it in Discord. We can talk about it in Discord. I promise. I promise. This isn't one of those things where I say I'm gonna do it and then I don't do it. We can super talk about it in Discord. But I instead want to talk about $100 million. Because Umbe, if I'm being honest, $100 million doesn't mean anything to me. And here's why. Because, when they're like, here's how much money it costs to make Avengers Endgame. And here's how much money it made in the box office. And I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. And then I look at some like indie movie like Juno, and they're like, here's how much money it costs to make Juno. And it's like, they spent $12 million or they spent $26 million. And I'm like, what? I'm like, that doesn't even like, how did it cost $20 million to make this movie? And it's because I honestly, Umbe and everybody in the stream, I don't have a realistic concept of like how much money it actually costs to make things anymore. I think oh no, sorry, not anymore, ever. When people talk about like movie budgets or even video game budgets, my brain is just like, okay, $80 million, and then I'm like looking at the thing and I can't like, I can't make heads or tails of it a lot of the time. And I think it's just like, I got brokey brain, At a certain amount of money, I would say that right about $800,000, maybe even lower than that, maybe $500,000, like $500,000. That's where my brain stops understanding the concept of money. About 500,000. Well, if somebody says I have $5 million, I don't even know what that means anymore. I don't know what $5 million can buy. I don't know what it is. I know that you can get certain houses, but outside of a house, I don't know what it does. Don Hardy, thank you. Definitely going to play and listen to Horizon Zero Dawn now. Have a great day. Oh, you too. Yeah. If you don't like the game, I'm sorry. If you don't like the game, I'm sorry, but I thoroughly enjoyed that game. I love that game. Are you leaving, by the way, Don? Is there something you wanted to hear? The sun's coming out of the clouds. I can play it now. I can play it now, hopefully. If it was something that I could play, I will do it. This says in China, business and government are one and the same, so that doesn't surprise me. Honestly, Diz, in the United States of America, business and government are... I don't want to talk about that now. This is... If I pick that game up tomorrow, please do. I don't know how much Horizon Zero Dawn is right now, but I will say I am looking forward to the sequel. I'm probably not going to buy a PS5 until the sequel has a solid release date, and then I'll get my PS5 in preparation for that. Wow, the sun is really coming out. Well, thank you, Don. I do appreciate that. And I appreciate you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope work as well. I do want to play Control at some point, but single-player games are so tiring for me. I love hearing that from you, Umbe. I like hearing that. My PS5 is staring at me. Wait, Cyber, sorry, have you not taken it out of the box yet? How come? Let that baby breathe. What the heck? What's going on? What's going on over there? Oh, word. You've just been busy. Oh, yeah. I love this. I love this when the sun... Oh, guys. This is the time of year. This is the time of year where it's exquisite. It's really chilly mornings, and then the sun comes in, and it heats everything up, but not in a I'm sweating way, but in a like, you know when you, I don't really like cats, so I promise this will be the first and maybe last cat analogy I make that shines favorably on cats, but you know when you see a cat that's like laying and like the sun's coming through the window on the floor, and the cat like finds that sunspot and is in it, that is basically October through... Sorry, let me bump that back. That's like November through February in LA. It's like just finding the sunspot and chilling. Because there's always going to be a sunspot. We don't have enough clouds to really keep the sun at bay for long. I'm going to transfer most of my stuff from my PS4 to my PS5. Cyber, once you do that, can you please let me know how, one, how that process goes, two, how that process works, and three, how satisfied you are at the end of that process. Because I'm also going to have to do that, and I just want to know before you're going to be my expert, like, field test, I guess. It used to be a nice time of the year in New York. We've been getting some nice light snow right now. Instead, it's just dirty and cold. Sorry, dry and cold. It's dry and cold here. Definitely no snow. PS5 since 3080, 3090s are impossible to find at the moment, says Jesse. I posted a picture of the box in the Discord. I did see that picture. But I thought that picture was like you right before you ripped into it. York show. But I guess given the way this year has been, just everyone is okay. Yeah, we all hope everyone is okay. Who knows when I'm gonna make it back to New York for a performance anyway. Hope sooner than later. I do love New York. I'm realizing even some of the cities that I don't actually like, I like now just because I miss them. And New York's not one of those. I always love New York, but one of those cities that I didn't expect to miss, but I'm actually kind of wanting to be there in the space is Manchester, England. It wasn't even that dope if I'm being real, but like, I need to be there. I need to be there now. Oh, it's a newer picture. It's a newer picture, Cyber says. Okay, okay. Royale says, better to wait. Not a lot of content for PS5 yet. I mean, for sure. But like I said, Horizon Zero Dawn 2, I think is going to be the thing for me. I think that's going to be the game that's like, whenever we're getting ready to launch that, that's when I'm getting my PS5. That's when I'm going to buy one. And I will enjoy it. And then I'm going to take apart my PS5 controller and look at what's going on inside there. Jesse says Cyberpunk. I'll be honest. I'm not sure why, but I'm not really jazzed about Cyberpunk. I do want to play it. I am going to play it, I think, but I'm not as excited as I once was for it. And there's literally no reason for that. Cyberpunk didn't do anything wrong. It's not that it looks less fun now than it once did. It's still just as fun. I just think that for whatever reason, like maybe my brain's broken or something like that. I just like, yeah, whatever. Don't want a PS5, but I do be wanting a PS5 controller though. Ooh-wee. If I'm honest, I think it's probably just my fear of change. I don't want the PS5 controller. I wish that I could just hook up my PS4 controller and the PS5, but I'm sure after playing for a little while, I'll get the hang of it, and then, you know. I think it's just that PlayStation has lulled me into this, like, this cycle of monotony, and I mean that with love, because I love that the controller just hasn't changed much in the past, like, 10 or so years. And, I mean, longer than that, actually. I don't know why I only said 10. Horizon is the must-have game for me. Yeah. I also feel like I am the only person. Okay. I feel like I'm the only person, guys, who wants to play Final Fantasy 16. I feel like I am really quiet because everybody I know is constantly like dunking on that game and how it looks bad, and I'm just like, I don't know, guys, I kind of want to play it, and I don't know why that is. I don't even know why I want to play it. Because if somebody said, so what about it looks so good to you, Omni? I couldn't name one thing about it that looks so good to me, but I do want to play it very badly, and I don't know why that is. I don't really support Sony for that reason, actually. Microsoft letting you use basically any old controller should be the norm. Yeah. Proprietary stuff is always kind of weird, but I mean, whatever. I gotta do what they tell me, right? That's as long as it is an action battle system, I'm interested, says Jesse. Final Fantasy 15 Kingdom Hearts style was fun. Oh my god, you sound like me. You sound like me. I love hearing it. This says, at what point does the Final Fantasy series stop being good? Are those quotes? Can I get somebody else on this? I'm getting glare off the screen. Are those quotes around the word good, Diz? You gotta do what they told you. 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 What's the name of that song? And your Trojan wife. Did he say Trojan wife? Or was it Trojan life? It was probably Trojan life. Somebody remember that song? Gotta do what they told you. Rage Against the Machine that was a good time. Am I the only Rage Head in here? Come on, there's gotta be another Rage Head. I thought you said Chosen Wife. Oh crap. So Diz original Rage Head probably knows better than me. Chosen Wife. I said Trojan Wife. I say Trojan Wife. I think both work. I've never stopped being good. It's just FF never stopped being good. It just changed, says Cyber. Okay, all right. Okay. I, as somebody whose first Final Fantasy, or sorry, I should say earliest Final Fantasy I played was 4. Um, and I did not beat it because it was too hard. It was too hard for me. I think that Final Fantasy games, and Cyber, you've played more than me. I think that Final Fantasy games, and a lot of games, honestly, I'm not just going to pin this on Final Fantasy, have gotten easier and easier over time. Like with each new installment, I think it becomes easier to beat and easier just to play in general. Maybe more like mass appeal. I think that that is a change that I actually appreciate in Final Fantasy. I'm trying to imagine a Final Fantasy that does have an active battle system, but is just as punishingly hard to me personally as the older ones were. I don't know if anybody else had that much trouble with 4 that I did, but I've never seen the end of 4. I have no idea how that game ends because it was just too hard. Nobody says, I thought everyone knew that song. Not everyone. Wait, it's White? Oh, Chosen White. Sorry. Oh my god, is that what he says? Or is that just what you're hearing? Final Fantasy 15 was Square's concerted effort to introduce the game to a larger group of people. As a person that was already part of the smaller group of people that was playing Final Fantasy. Oh my god. Cyber, I'm glad you said that. The tagline of the game was for fans and new people or something. That's hilarious, by the way. But Cyber, I'm glad you said that. Trash Man's here. Or the second Trash Man is here, I should say. I'm glad you said that because I feel personally like that was what 10 was a long time ago. And I want to know if you agree. Or I feel like 10 was a kind of a shift to get more people to play it. Maybe I just have that opinion because I didn't like 10 very much at all. And all of the people I knew in my personal circle that liked 10 didn't play or enjoy either or the previous ones. They were like, finally, they made a good one. I like Final Fantasy X. My friends were calling it Final Fantasy X. I don't want to get in my whack friends right now. Gotta say, I liked FF10. And that's good. It was a good game. I think it was a good game. I think I don't like it for a lot of really stupid, petty reasons. FF10 and 15 are the only ones I've played. Wow, that's cool. I like this. I like this conversation now. We have a control group. Yes, Leon, yes. 10 was different cultural shift. 10 was the first game with voice acting. It was. So it was a change to take advantage of the narrative technology. Having voices in it was jarring and I didn't like it at all at the time. This glare is hecking me up. So rephrase question, which game stopped being RPG / turn-based? 12, I guess, still was turn-based, even though you can move around freely. That's rough, right? Because it wasn't like a hard shift. And still today, none of the Final Fantasy games work like Kingdom Hearts does, you know? Which I would say is a full active battle system. There are several different battle mechanics. It's hard to say, right? I agree. I agree with this take. 11 and 14 may as well be different games from the rest of the mainline series since they're online and operate on different mechanics. For sure, for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. I think when I mean after playing so much Final Fantasy, right? I remember when 12 came out. I loved 12 because to me 12 by comparison felt like an active battle system. No one seems to like 12 though. Yes, the Gambit system was cool too. It was like autopilot. But I don't know. I don't know. Final Fantasy is really vast, right? The 13 I was excited about was 13 versus 15. I actually bought a PS3 in anticipation, learned a valuable lesson. Okay, so I didn't know enough about anything back then to do anything about anything. I remember seeing the Versus 13 trailer for the first time and being like, wow, I'm not going to be able to play this until it's very old because it looked very pretty, and usually that meant that it was going to probably be on something I didn't own at the time. And so, yeah. By the time 15 came out, a lot of me had forgotten about Versus 13. And I didn't really understand anything. Because when 13 came out, it didn't look like that. I was like, what is Versus 13? Like, you know, I'm actually glad that that happened. I'm glad that Versus 13 happened. Um, Holy crap, he says Chosen Whites? Oh, I can't wait to use this. Eliana says trash is in stereo again. Ooh. At least I have good, like, how's the frame rate today? I haven't asked anybody. Am I fluid? I think it makes me happy when companies do stuff like that. Not happy because I like to be let down or I like to be disappointed, but it kind of reminds me that, you know, sometimes, like I'm not broken, you know? Like, how many times have we all said we were going to do something, right? How many times have we have artists announced a release date for something or said, new music coming soon, baby? How many times have I put a track in my Instagram story and been like, almost done with this one, and everybody's like, heck yeah, baby, let me know when it hits Spotify. And then it just never comes out because I forget about it, I lose it, I don't like it anymore, I develop a weird hatred for it, or it has a vocalist on it that I don't like any. Like, how many of my songs have died in purgatory after I shared them with the public? Tons of them. Constantly. Tons. Easy Door remembers. Peppered Farms. Not Peppered Farms. Who was it that remembered? Something Farms remembers. It's not Pepperidge Farms. Anyways, I think when I share things like that, I always feel really guilty afterwards. I feel like, wow, I've really failed. Everybody's expecting this thing, and I wasn't able to meet the standard or the expectations I even set for myself. And when I see a huge company do it, like when they announce a movie or something, they announce a game and it just doesn't come out, Makes me feel a little bit better about my own like shortcomings as far as announcements and actually meeting deadlines. Not to say that just because somebody else fails means that I'm allowed to fail, but it makes me a little bit less tough on myself, a little less hard on myself. That was a full-on cutscene we watched for Versus 13. Anyways, every year saying my album will be dropping and it never has, says Umbe. Word. Word, word, word. It is a thing. Now that is a thing. It is Pepperidge? Pepperidge Farms remembers? I didn't think it was. Okay, who makes the Goldfield? Who makes the goldfish crackers? Because I thought that like Pepperidge Farm made them, but I don't. Anyways, it's a Pepperidge. So the same company that says Pepperidge Farm remembers is the company that makes the goldfish. I don't know why I said Goldfield. Goldfield. Anyways, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, Final Fantasy Versus 13. Stupid name too. You know what's even funnier? When you hear about something and you assume it never came out, but it did. Like that weird Metal Gear Zombies game. Remember when Kojima left Konami and then they released that Metal Gear game that had zombies in it? I thought that it never came out. Turns out it did come out. Just nobody cares about it. Whoa, 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 whoa. I used to be really into Pepper Ann. I mean, on like a romantic level. There are a lot of cartoons. There are a lot of cartoons that I really thought that I wanted to date at the time. Pepper Ann was one of them. She seemed to really know what she was doing. Wait, hold on. Wait, Cyber, please tell me you're not talking to me. Please tell me you didn't know that. Please tell me that's not something you could gather. Oh, that sucks. I shouldn't have said anything. I've been typecast. Really? Do I have a type? It's actually extremely fun. Good, but no. What? Fun, good, but no one wanted to try it after Kojima left. A shame, really. Oh, you're talking about the Metal Gear Zombie game. Yeah. I'm one of the people that didn't want to try it, but I'm glad it was good anyway. I'm glad that you played it. Yeah, that's Follow Me. I don't like this. I don't like this, Cyber. I don't. This is Cyber's drawing a diagram, and I don't like it. Who's Pepper? Thank you, Umbe. It would be cool if at least one of the people in my type that Cyber named was a real person. I guess Shelley Duvall's a real person, but not the version of her that I was like very, very much in love with. I'm in love with a person that, whoa, I don't think we ever coexisted. I think by the time, I don't know, when did The Shining come out? When did Popeye, when did that come out? What year was that? Crap. Wait, Ram, you still here? I don't know how to play the outro of Follow Me, Ram. Does that song have verses? I can't hear them if it has them. I can't even hear how that song starts in my head for some reason. I can only hear the chords. And then I can hear the hook, but I can't hear if there's verses in it. Gotta fast forward the song in your brain. No reason why. I can only hear follow me, a, follow me, I can't hear if there's verses. Wow, that sucks. Ungbe says Ami is so fortunate to be able to forget parts of his discography. No! Sometimes they're the parts I want to remember. Ungbe, sometimes I don't want to forget these bits. I would love to be able to follow me. And sometimes when I'm streaming, I'll have a completely separate tab just opened up to Bandcamp, where I play. Usually, when somebody requests a song and I can't remember how to play it, I'll pull it up on Bandcamp. Reason why, just follow me, follow me, follow me. Wow, Abby killed it. Anyways, I remember it now. See the sunrise, I want to. No reason why I want to. Yeah. I want to. Yeah, I remember it now. Okay. It's the song with Abby Press. Her voice is so nice, and thanks for playing it. You're welcome, Ren. Abby is amazing. I met Abby for the first time in a dusty New York City bar. Now, I actually don't remember the first time I met Abby. At least I don't think so. It was at a show, and it was in New York City. And then, I don't even know why why I knew her. We just kind of, everybody on SoundCloud knew each other back then. And then she moved to Texas. Ume says, I just want to have too many bangers and be like, yo, who made this track? Me, I made that track. Oh. I feel you. I feel you, Ume. I feel you. I just work on music too much. I think that's what it is. Because even in the Friday streams, right? There's like a lot of times in the Friday stream where we'll pull up something, or I'll see something that's called like, I don't know, Pepper Shaker, and I'm like, I don't remember making Pepper Shaker, and I open it and it's like, I mean, sometimes it sucks, but a lot of times it's like actually pretty cool, and I'm like, oh, I forgot I made this. I think here's what happened, Umbe. Here's what happened. Here is my best example of what has happened to me. I was incubated. I was incubated on SoundCloud. SoundCloud musically at times felt like how Twitter is with takes. Whether your takes are spicy, whether they're cold, whether they're informative, whether they're funny, on Twitter it's like takes are the currency. And on SoundCloud, tunes were the currency. And so there wasn't necessarily, like, when you would post a song to SoundCloud, I'm projecting a little bit, but when a lot of people back then would post a song on the SoundCloud, it wasn't necessarily to do anything. It was specifically for SoundCloud. It wasn't for Spotify, it wasn't for Target, it wasn't for Walmart, it wasn't for MTV. It was like this, it exists in this little tiny platform that we all throw songs at each other. And somebody would post a song and it's like, oh, this song's hot. And then you're like, okay, well, it's time for me to post a song then. They posted something and that kind of upped the ante. They did this cool thing with vocal work, so then you go into Fruity Loops or Ableton and you make a cool thing, and then once it's done, maybe you get some cool art for it, or maybe you don't, and then you put it up. And you're like, oh, here's my post, here's my tweet, here's my funny take, here's my hot take, here's my contribution to the community. You would just do things like that, and because of how many of us there were, it was like every day it was like boom, boom, boom. There was a new track, maybe sometimes even 2, 3 new tracks that we could all listen to and compare. There was always new stuff, and so none of us were really building albums. We weren't building even EPs most of the time. We were just dropping random singles and changing over time. And in 2020, I mean, that was kind of my like boot camp, if you will, for like music production. And then once I started, releasing music even outside of SoundCloud, I was able to make music a lot faster because I'd kind of been trained by SoundCloud to always be onto the next song. However, in 2020, I have released no music of my own. Like there's been the Attack the Music song, The View, that came out at the top of the year, and then here at the end of the year we have the Tamo Goo 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 and Rachel remix. But by far and large, I haven't really released anything. And so I'm still working on like SoundCloud schedule, like boom, 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 gotta make a song. Gotta make a song every 2-3 days. Gotta make a couple of songs every week. Gotta get a cool new idea down today because I have 6 extra hours to work with. I still work on that very, very prolific, active schedule. And it doesn't really come in handy a lot when you're not releasing a lot of music. It just makes me sit. It creates an environment where I'm just sitting on a pile of tunes that are all ranging from 40 to 90% finished, and I have no release date in sight. But I think that Umbe, the reason that I have so many songs isn't even necessarily because I want to release all the time, or because I enjoy releasing all the time. I think that, if I'm being transparent, SoundCloud just kind of conditioned me to think that you release music a lot, Releasing music is like talking almost. Like that was our voice. And if you hadn't talked in a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, 5 months, 6 months, a year, it felt weird not talking. It felt weird. It's almost like being in a group chat where you don't post in. Sometimes I feel that way in our own in our Discord space, where it's like there was a brief period of time, Cyber remembers, Pepper's Farm remembers, when like the Discord existed and I would like never post in it. I wouldn't say anything. Now I feel like I talk pretty often in it, but for a while I didn't. Being in a group chat and being the person that never talks feels kind of weird. Being on SoundCloud and being the person who never posts a track felt weird. And so I've taken that weird SoundCloud always posting mentality into how I create music. And I don't know, is it good? Is it bad? Who knows, right? I would definitely have a lot less music had I not spent time there. The tagline for 15 was, "A Final Fantasy for fans and newcomers alike," says Cyber. What a weird tagline. But I think they accomplished that. I don't personally know anybody that 15 was their first Final Fantasy, but as somebody who played it and really, really liked it. Guys, I really liked that game. Yeah, there are problems with it, but a lot of the problems I have with Final Fantasy 15, I also have with every other Final Fantasy I've ever played. So I really enjoyed that game. Do I remember most of it? No. Do I remember some of it? No. But I do remember enjoying it. It says when you boot the game up. 15 was great. 15 was great. I agree with you, Cyber. This says, if you forget you made a song, that's a missed opportunity to give a copyright claim to someone when they use it without permission. Hold on, Diz. Hold on, Diz. That was a little bit too much for my brain. It's still the morning, and I have not had my beacon yet. If you forget you made a song, that's a missed opportunity to give a copyright claim to someone when they use it without permission. Unless, Diz, unless you pay a distributor to do that for you. But yeah, I agree. Right? If somebody wanted to like use like one of my chiptune songs in a video and I didn't already have like a legal system that would like flag the YouTube video or whatever, or give it a copyright claim, I definitely wouldn't be able to hunt around and go like, oh my god, they used Gumdrop. They used my song that I released in 2013 over here. Like, I don't remember half the music I released. I wish, guys, that, and I had a friend that actually said this recently with visual art. She was like, I wish I had all of my art. Like, I wish that I had everything. Because she was like, I've made so many things, and it's gone on like Tumblr, or it went on DeviantArt, or it went here, or I put it on MySpace, and then, the site crashed, or my account got deleted, or whatever. And now I just don't have all my art anymore. maybe it was physical and it got lost somewhere and she never scanned it onto a computer. She was just like, I wish I had all my art still, because I would love to be able to have that, visibility of seeing how much I've changed or whatever. And I was thinking about that and I was like, yeah, like I've made a lot of music. You guys have seen a lot of the music that I've made as Omniboy, but I don't think anybody in here has heard every Omniboy song. That's ridiculous, right? There's too many of them. And then that's just Omniboy. Then I also have songs that I made for The Crush, and I have songs that I made for Capita the Sun, and I have songs that I made for Wink, and I have songs that I made for Two Tone Disco, and I have songs that I made for Lambo Crasher, and I have the songs that I made for this person's indie film, and this person's YouTube channel, and this person's YouTube video, and this Discord thing. I have so many songs, and I don't have a comprehensive list or directory of every single song I've made. And there's just like so many times where I wish that I did. Even the stuff that I don't technically own, the masters to, even the stuff that I've sold, it still would be nice to like be able to pull it up and be like, yeah, I made this. This is what I made for so-and-so's video. A lot of people used to hit me up, it doesn't happen so because of 2020, but a lot of people used to hit me up that went to animation schools like, that one that's in Laguna, what's it called? LCAD. LCAD? Like the people that went to LCAD or the people that went to CalArts, people that went to like schools for animation and schools for illustration, a lot of times they would be working on like a student video, some type of end of year, end of semester brief animation. They would commission me for music for it. There's so many times that would happen. I would make this fun little bubbly cute tune and I would send it to them and I would just like not keep it. Like, I mean, I'm sure the file probably broken is somewhere on my FL Studio directory, but it's like, I didn't properly save a lot of these things. Like, right now, I'm talking about the In the Studio stream. I have a folder just called In the Studio, and I'm going to start making subfolders for it. On my FL Studio, I have a folder called Lush Stream. I have a folder called Signals. I have a folder called Daydream. I have everything organized. I have a folder just called Collaborations, a folder called Remixes, a folder called Songs I Made for Two Tone Disco. Like, I have them more organized now, more recent, like in the past 2-3 years. But before then, I was just making random stuff. Like we see in Friday, where I'll just name a song Hoggarts. I would just name a song Hoggarts, export it, rename it something else, rename it Picture This, send it off to mastering, upload it, and then when somebody's like, hey, can you break down Picture This? And I'm going and looking through FL Studio, it doesn't come up because I have it saved under Hoggarts. Like, I just wasn't very forward thinking for a long time in music, and I'm trying to be a little bit better about that now. I'm trying to. It is very hard though when you make a lot of stuff. It's hard to keep a wranglehold over it. ASCAP indeed. ASCAP, that's me. Cyber says maybe I'll play it again on my PS5. I do want to play Final Fantasy again because the last time I played Final Fantasy, I was living with my very first roommate here in Los Angeles and I was playing it on their PlayStation 4. And after they moved, they took the PlayStation 4 and with it, the Final Fantasy 15 copy. And when they took that, my save state was on their account. Like, I don't even have, like, I beat the game, but it's like, if I play that game again, I'm gonna have to start from scratch, which, maybe we'll make it good or fun, who knows. I can't get over the idea of, I can't get behind, sorry, this is, the idea of not having full control over your IPs. Yeah, okay. That's fair. That's a very valid point. I think when working with corporations, to any degree, I don't know. I mean, yeah, if you're working with corporations and you're like Alicia Keys or something like that, maybe. But at my level, working with like companies like Verizon and stuff like that, like, there's just zero way that they're going to give me full control of my IP. And sometimes you just got to eat at the end of the week. So I definitely agree with what you're saying, but I definitely do not have full control over my IPs, and not because I wanted to not have full control, if that makes sense. It was more so just a thing, like, I don't have the bargaining power all the time to be able to have full control over my IPs. However, Omniboy stuff, everything that you've heard under the name Omniboy, save like 4 tracks, I do have full control over. So, I also think it's very important. Whew. Okay, lightning round list of all of the releases. Signals. House of Omni, Tall Tales, Night Dream, Love Dream, Speed Dream, Daydream, Lust Dream, Ego Death, Quick Breath, guys. They're all out on Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon MP3, Tidal, Groove, Deezer, Pandora, Napster, and YouTube, which also has Quarantunes on it. If you haven't watched the Quarantunes, please watch them. I can't wait to make some more. And by I can't wait, I mean I'm dreading making some more, but I need to make something. So hopefully Quarantunes episode 9 comes out next month. Listen to me just saying stuff. Listen to me just saying stuff with literally no way to like confirm that. But I feel like next month is 2021, so I did say I was going to start making them again next year. So I will at least start making Quarantunes number 9 next month. How about that? Next month is also season 3. If you have any contributions or suggestions or anything about season 3 that you want to talk about, because I feel like we haven't been talking about it as much in the stream, definitely these streams are the time to bring that up. I am going to be calling about the internet today to see if I can get some type of more stable internet, because if that happens, then season 3 will at least, it opens up the options of what we can actually do for season 3 as far as the Monday through Thursday stream. Yes. What else we got? What else we got? I think that's all the news. Just a reminder, guys, that this Friday I am going to be breaking down my remix. So if you have heard it, dope. Bring any questions or curiosity that you have into this Friday stream. If you have not heard it, I did post it in the Discord, maybe even a couple of times. Go check that out when you get a moment. Yeah, go check that out when you get a second. This sucks when art has to be devolved into litigation and legal proceedings. Yes. But that's the industry, baby. This song is called Hush Hour. Also, I mean, I say that I'm going to go over the remix this Friday, but if you have any other like music questions, you can always ask them there. Whether it's about a specific project or if it's about like a technique or something like that that I do. Always willing to break stuff down. Omni, do you have any recommendations for movies and TV shows? My movie recommendations for today's stream is going to be today's movie recommendation is going to be dang, have I seen any movies ever? Have I ever seen a film? I'm going no, I don't want to recommend that. That's weird. I'm trying not to recommend a martial arts film because I feel it's very niche. I'm trying to recommend something that everybody can watch and everybody can enjoy. I think I've recommended Baby Driver like 4 times. Go watch Hot Fuzz. Since I'm talking about Edgar Wright, I guess. Go watch Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz is a chill movie. I do like that movie a lot, actually. So yeah, do that. That's going to be my movie recommendation for this stream. And my show recommendation, just to keep things British, I guess, will be Peep Show. Go watch Peep Show. I've got to say, though, if I'm going to be recommending Peep Show, I have not seen Peep Show in many years. But I do remember it being very slow in the beginning, and it's British. So if that already sounds like trash to you, do not subject yourself to Peep Show. Don't do it. But I thoroughly enjoyed that show. Peep Show was great, says Jesse. It's so weird. I was not expecting somebody in the stream to know what Peep Show was. Okay, have you watched Queen's Gambit? I have not watched Queen's Gambit, but I very recently played chess for the first time after not playing in like 5 years, and that's what the show's about, right? Chess. Made me want to watch it. Maybe want to watch it and then play more chess. They have a Tantamount Terrific Tuesday. Ooh, Tantamount Terrific. Thank you, Liana. Also, thank you guys for keeping Maddie alive in the stream. There are a lot of people that come into the stream that have only started coming after Maddie left or just don't know who Maddie is. But just in case you were in the stream and didn't understand the alliterative farewell at the end all the time, it's because Maddie used to do that all the time. That was really cool. But hopefully, also Maddie's alive. I said keep alive in the stream because Maddie can't come into the streams anymore because work and stuff, I think. And so, yeah, thank you guys for doing that. That's really, I really appreciate it. And I'm sure Maddie does in spirit as well. But yeah, that's it. Remix breakdown this Friday, production stream this Friday. Until then, yeah, I'll be back here 278 for tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'll play it tomorrow, right? I'll play it tomorrow because I did play Hush Hour already. But yeah, thank you everybody as always for being respectful to me and polite to each other. These morning medleys, I wish they were always like this. I wish they always started off like really overcast, and then by the end I had like this nice bright sun. But I can't be that fortunate every time. But thank you guys for making this a good one. I will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. for morning medley number 278. Thank you for being respectful to me and polite to each other. Abo, everybody. I gotta check my laptop actually.